Hey guys, this is my part 2 video of the 90s, which if you followed the first one you'll know what I'm on about. But yeah, it's just to this is what I was listening to in the 90s. This is what got me through the 90s. I hated the 90s, but when I look back at the CDs or the albums that came out, records as well, I think, my God, actually I'd prefer to have these records and albums than the other stuff that was playing back then, like the Britpop and the grunge and stuff like that. I'm far happier with what I got here. So yeah, I mentioned a CD before that I just found it, and it was Black Sabbath's Cross Purposes. This to me is a 8.5 to 9 out of 10 album, all day long, with Tony Martin on vocals, from 1994. I didn't get hold of a copy of this till about 98, so yeah, loved that to bits. Check out the song "The Hand That Rocks the Cradle" by Black Sabbath. Then another one here, which is, this is about the only Kiss record I listened to in the 90s. The Revenge album I didn't get until years later, and this one was this is more grungy style Kiss. Carnival of Souls, very stripped back, as you can see, and yeah, I did listen to this a lot, but then when I listened to this, I started going back to the 80s Kiss and listening to that, and that was it, and some of the 70s, but yeah, this is my original CD that I bought, $12.99. I paid for that. But yeah, Carnival of Souls, the final sessions. Apparently they were going to be. What are we going to do next? Oh yeah, I mentioned another album before that I left in the car, and it is Thunder, Laughing on Judgment Day. This is the album that got me into Thunder in 1992, and I remember when Low Life and High Places, the single, came out. That was what caught my eye. But yeah, there's some good songs in there. There's a song on there called "A Better Man," which was another single. And yeah, loads of songs on there, but absolutely awesome. Really cool. One that I missed off from the Bon Jovi related was Richie Sambora's amazing debut, amazing first solo album, Stranger in This Town. People should check this out if you're into blues rock. This is absolutely amazing, very good, and a little bit hard rocking in places as well. So yeah, absolutely awesome. This is my reissue, because I've got my original somewhere, but this is a reissue one from 1991. That is well worth listening to, especially the song Father Time. Right, we're gonna go. Yeah, where did I put that CD now? Oh no, there it is. A band that I got into in '93, and absolutely loved their stuff. This is just a spare copy that's sealed. This is when I got into them, and it was the Animals with Human Intelligence, Enough's Enough album. Enough's Enough. When I heard the song Right By Your Side, that was it. I was hooked, and then I was hooked by the song oh, what was it called again? Baby Loves You, which is on that. This was the next album. Oh no, the third album I bought. No, second, sorry. Was it second? Yeah. And obviously I went and bought their debut, which was out in the 80s, so late 89. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Love this band. This is highly recommended to anybody out there. This is absolutely killer. That album, their Strength. That's my favourite album of theirs. Absolutely amazing. And that I played on my personal cassette player back in '93. So many times. I wore the cassette out. But yeah, I prefer that album to this one. And then I got this one in about '96. It came out in '95. I missed it because I didn't even read up. Obviously, we didn't have internet, so the only way you could find out the news was by magazines. And for some strange reason, I didn't buy a couple of magazines for a few weeks, and I missed out the news that this was coming out. Enough's Enough Tweaked album. This is I love this album, especially the song Mr. Jones, and absolutely awesome. Very Beatles-esque, some of the songs, but you know, Oasis have been the guys from Oasis credited this band as their favourite band at one stage. So yeah, and I couldn't believe that when I heard that. That was insane. But yeah, Enough's Enough reissued that CD called Tweaked, and it came out as is it this one? Oh no! Oh no, that's a different one. Sorry, no, that's still the same one. I think they changed the cover just slightly though. I'm not sure. This is my only copy because it's sometimes it can be quite expensive to get hold of. But yeah, that's from 1995. So I can go there. I picked up another Enough's Enough CD thinking it was the reissue of that, but it's not. Right. Everybody's gonna know I put this in my lineup. Adrenalize by Def Leppard. One of the biggest albums of the early 90s for me. Absolutely, I loved this to bits back then. Obviously, I don't like it. I don't love it as much as I did back then, but I still, I still think it's great. 1992. I always loved the artwork. This got me through a lot of college days and end of school time as well before I went into college. But yeah, absolutely awesome. I looked forward to this coming out for a long time. This was like my this was like my as you would say, everybody's firepower this year, the anticipation of it coming out. This was what that was like when I was, what was I, how old was I, 16 I was when that came out. So yeah. Then they brought out the old Retroactive, which was amazing because it was B-side stuff that was redone, and then there was a few extra songs on there added that were finished off, like Desert Song and Fractured Love. They did the cover of Action by The Sweet. But yeah, and this picture on the thingy here of this woman at her mirror used to freak me out a bit. I think, what an odd choice of a cover. So yeah, and then sometimes I'd look at it and go, is it a skull? Someone's skull. So yeah. Then this weird thing came out. Slang, Def Leppard slang. Yeah, and this is this was my original of this has got a double disc with a live. Is it this one? Yeah, mine's got an acoustic CD as well with it, but this is just a newer, a slightly newer copy. 1996 this came out. Again, anticipation for this, and then I heard the song Slang, and I just weaned. I couldn't care a damn if I ever listened to that song again. But I do love the song Blood Runs Cold. That's amazing. That was the one that was written about Steve Clark, more or less. So yeah. But yeah, still check it out. And then in the late 90s, 1999, we had this beauty that was sort of aimed at the adrenalized time, and you can tell even by the cover. It was, and this is, you know, crazy, but yeah, Euphoria. With it's got a few of the songs in it are very adrenalized-y, but there's a few songs in there I can really do without. 21st Century, Shalala Girl. God, what the fuck were they thinking? Disintegrate, Kings of Oblivion, and that really horrible song, Back in Your Face. Terrible, absolutely terrible. But the rest of the album was great. Here we go. Did I show? Yeah, Europe's only album of the 90s, Prisoners in Paradise. This was a big shock to me when this came out. I was like, whoa, a Europe album. And obviously I was, you know, I just was like, this was 1991, and I was like a kid in a candy store when I saw this. Up on, there's some racks in the music shop, number 19 it was called, and I bought it on cassette because I didn't have a CD player back then, and I was like, it was, that was going home with me that day, let's put it that way. Didn't enjoy the album as much as I enjoyed Out of This World and The Final Countdown, but now I listen to it and I think, wow, I love 95% of that album, big time. It's awesome. So as you get older, your musical tastes change and you appreciate things more. An awesome album back then as well, just a few years later, was 1993's Coverdale Page. David Coverdale, Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin, David Coverdale, Whitesnake obviously. This is a 10 out of 10 album for me all day long. If you haven't got this, you should get it. This knocks Led Zeppelin's boots off. It knocks them off the top spot any day. Led Zeppelin are so overrated. This is the best thing that Jimmy Page has ever done, in my eyes. But yeah, this is supposed to be getting remastered and some extra stuff put on this year, apparently, from what David Coverdale said in an interview with Eddie Trunk. So if you're after getting this, get the original quick, because the prices might go up, and then the reissue will be out hopefully this year. 1997's David Coverdale and Whitesnake. This was due to be a solo record, but the record company wanted it to be Whitesnake as well, so that's why it's called David Coverdale and Whitesnake. A great album for that time. I loved it, still do. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Very much lighter than Whitesnake though, unless you listen to the song Restless Heart. That's more like Whitesnake. And then straight after that, not long after that, this came out. Whitesnake's Starkers in Tokyo. And this is David Coverdale with shorter hair, and Adrian Vandenberg doing an acoustic set in Tokyo. I have this on DVD as well. It came out, and it's just got, you know, Sailing Ships, Too Many Tears, Deeper the Love, Love Ain't No Stranger, Can't Go On, Give Me All Your Love, Don't Fade Away, Is This Love, Here I Go Again, Soldier of Fortune, acoustic, completely different. This is a very very different to anything I've ever had by Whitesnake. So yeah, absolutely, I love it to bits. It did take a few listens to get into it, but yeah, amazing. An album as well that I heavily listened to back then. More the mid-90s I listened to it though, not when it came out. White Lion's Main Attraction. And I was listening to a lot of White Lion in the mid-90s. So, but this is their 1991 album. And yeah, probably one of their best ones as well. Let's do Scorpions. So, where did I put? I've put one down by mistake. Where did I put that? It's not there. Am I going blind? No. I've put a Scorpions album down by mistake and not grabbed it. Let's just oh, I had it before. Oh well. The album I'm talking about, which will probably pop up throughout this video, is actually Scorpions' Crazy World album, which was an album that got me through a lot of crap times, having to travel around with my parents, especially with my father, in the car, because I wasn't old enough. I was 14, and traveling around in the car with my headphones on, listening to the Crazy World album by Scorpions, and just thinking this album is absolutely amazing, and thinking also, you know, this has saved me from, you know, telling my dad where to go and shove it as well. But it will probably pop up in my pile somewhere. I did grab it before, so I don't know why it's not around. Right, here we go. Another one, the one that came out after. Face the Heat, with the amazing song Alien Nation, and another song called Woman, which is a great song. But yeah, that's an album I played a hell of a lot. 93, well, from about 95 onwards, I suppose. Came out in 93 though. Pure Instinct, from 96. I didn't get this till later on in the 90s. So yeah, this was a hard one to get hold of at the time. And I didn't go out and buy it when it came out. I didn't even know it was coming out. I hadn't even heard anything. Like again, no internet, only reading magazines, and I must have missed a publication of this coming out. So yes, there we go. And another one of the Scorpions albums with some woman's tit showing again. Bloody hell, what are they like? Then you've got an album I used to listen to with my mate Nicole all the time. Absolutely loved it. This has probably got the best version of oh, they got the song Living for Tomorrow on here, which is amazing. This is an absolutely awesome CD. Live one. Live Bites from 1995. This is quite cheap to get hold of. If you're a Scorpions fan, you must have this in your collection. It is pretty damn killer. It's got a studio track on it as well, I think, at the end. I think so. Or two of them. But yeah, you've got Crazy World on there. You've got Wind of Change on there. Alien Nations on here. Wind of Change is there, yes. So yeah. And then this thing came out, which I actually bought this CD in Poole in the UK, and I stumbled across it and thought, ooh, didn't realise that was coming out either. So it must have just come out, and 1999. This was a very weird album, very strange, completely different. A lot of I know a lot of Scorpions fans are not really into this. There's a couple of good songs on here, like A Moment in a Million Years, which is an amazing song, and the other song is, what is it? 10 Light Years Away. But the other ones are pretty forgettable. Let's put it that way. And then we're gonna do these three. Oh, there is another one somewhere. No, we're gonna do this one. Vince Neil, Carved in Stone, from 1995. An album, yes, I did listen to this a hell of a lot. And it's also got the song Skylar on there for his daughter. His daughter died of a rare disease, and my phone's going to die. See you later. See you guys. I'll do a part 3.